Good evening. I'd like to call to order the December 14, 2016 regular meeting of the Nassau County Interim Finance Authority. First item I'd like to do is seek for approval of the minutes. Are there any comments or changes? Otherwise, entertain a motion.
Motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Second item on the agenda is the consideration of a county contract for Infinity Contracting Services.
Yes, it's a contract for almost $8 million. The purpose of the contract is to provide HVAC fan coil unit replacement in county buildings. It's funded by capital funds that will require a borrowing. That's pretty much it.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
Moved.
Make a second to approve this contract.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Next item is another contract for RJ Industries.
Yes, this contract is for approximately $11.2 million. It's to provide effluent screening and disinfection facility improvements at the Cedar Creek Water Pollution Control Plant. Boy, that's a mouthful. The contract's also funded with capital funds that will require a borrowing.
Okay, are there any questions? If there are none, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll consider the motion is carried. The next contract is a contract for consideration of Wellsback Electric Corp.
Yes, this contract is for $7 million, but it's for 2 years, 2017 and 18. It's to provide services for the traffic signal maintenance program, and it's funded by both operating and capital funds. If there are any questions.
Any questions? There are none. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. The next resolution, guess we'll look, Evan, you may want to comment on, is resolution number 16-654, which would be the consideration of approving the county's multi-year financial plan for fiscal 2017 through 20 and taking of related actions. Evan, would you like to
Yes, I'll
address this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Staff has reviewed the county's December 5th submission of a modified financial plan for 2017 through 2020. Despite the formidable fiscal challenges confronting the county over the planned period, we recommend that the board approve the modified plan. In accordance with NYFA's directive issued on November 29th, the modified plan incorporates $36 million in new gap closing measures designed to offset a $36 million projected shortfall in budgeted public safety fee revenue. Our analysis of the $36 million in new initiatives indicates that with careful management, the county's actions are achievable. The modified plan includes $15 million in new revenue the county expects to realize from an increase in its tax map verification fee, and $21 million in new program cuts, which extend through 2020. It is important to note that even if the $36 million in gap closing actions are fully realized, we project that the 2017 budget has $46 million in remaining risks that need to be mitigated during the year, and $60 million in unfunded tax certiorari payments that the county expects to make with borrowed money. We cannot overemphasize that even if the $46 million in projected risks are mitigated, the county will incur a 2017 gap deficit of $60 million since borrowed money is not revenue. Finally, our analysis indicates that the county's expenditures may exceed its revenues by approximately $191 million in 2018, $217 million in 2019, and $234 million in 2020 if no other gap closing actions are taken. Closing these gaps will require significant additional increases in revenue and/or expenditure reductions on top of the actions that were incorporated into the modified plan. That concludes my comments as far as the modified plan. If you want me to make any comments about the resolution.
Well, I think just for the record, so part of that plan, Evan, was the legislature was to consider a fee that would be a recurring source of revenue, which would be amount to about $15 million. They were supposed to have acted today, and the county executive would have had to sign that
Yes.
resolution. Has that in fact happened?
That did happen earlier today. The county legislature approved the fee increase, and the county executive executed signed the fee increase. So everything is copacetic with respect to that fee increase.
Are there any other questions? I think I would just say that, while, I'm certainly in favor of approving the modification and accepting the plan, I think we have to really take emphasis on what Evan is saying about the challenges in the out years and start working with the county as soon as possible, to mitigate risks that may occur during the this coming fiscal year, and to address these looming gaps in the out years as soon as possible. And if there are new revenues that come in through the amnesty program, which was challenged, I think that would be, we would like to see that used to help mitigate some of the risks that have been identified, as those would be viewed as one-time revenues and not recurring. So we wouldn't be able to give those a multi-year value, but it would be, if they were able to come in, we would be able to mitigate these additional risks that we've identified.
If you'd like, I could provide a brief summary of the resolution, or
Sure.
you can just read it. It's up to you. So the salient points of the resolution, first and foremost is that the board would be accepting the county's modified plan, but continuing to require the county to ensure that the gap deficit in 2017 not exceed $60 million. The resolution requires the county to get NIFA approval to restore any programs or budget cut included in the $36 million list of gap closing actions. And that approval would only be considered after the county proves that an equivalent amount of new recurring revenue has been identified and unexpected risks have not materialized. And the resolution clarifies, as Mr. Chairman, you just alluded to, clarifies that the new revenue does not include revised projections of already anticipated revenue, which would be applied toward reducing the county's currently known or projected budgetary risks, and that all new revenue must be recurring if the program cut had been providing recurring savings. Those stipulations are in the resolution.
Are there any questions? There being none,
Chairman, I'd like to make a comment with respect to the resolution. Would it be appropriate now or after it's on?
Sure, you can make it now.
Second.
Thank you. At the last meeting, I raised a number of objections to the letter being sent by the county demanding an additional $36 million in cuts to the county budget. I felt that the $36 million was insufficient, and the risks contained in the annual budget and the multi-year plan were of a magnitude that additional cuts would be required. That resolution did not pass. I voted against the $36 million in cuts for those reasons. As my holiday gift to everybody, I'm not going to go through those reasons again. They're all contained on the record, and anybody who would like to look at it, please feel free to do so. However, it is my opinion that the budget is built on unwarranted optimism and denial of previous history. For a county that borrows for its regular operating expenses, this is a totally unacceptable level of risk. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result. I think that's what we're doing, and that's why I'm voting against this resolution tonight.
Any other comments or questions? There being none, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion to approve the county's modified multi-year financial plan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed?
Yes.
Okay, so by my calculation, it's 4-1, the motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda, now that there is an approved budget by NIFA, is the consideration of the issuance of general obligation bonds and bans by Nassau County. The county is expected to need borrowing coming up for their upcoming capital program, as well as some other sewer-related capital projects that would be issued in the form of bans. Evan, do you want to elaborate any on?
Yes.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, the county has requested NIFA's approval of borrowing in the amount of $75 million for general capital program to fund general capital projects, and $16 million plus cost of issuance to fund their sewer capital projects. However, after receiving their request, we had several meetings and discussions with county staff, during which we reviewed the county's documentation and the county's ability to afford the added debt service arising from the requested borrowings. And based on those discussions, we directed the county to reduce the general capital borrowing request to $52 million from 75, plus cost of issuance, which is now consistent with the modified plan approved by the board today, but well below the original plan, the original proposed plan's assumptions. The universe of projects is included as attachments in the board materials. As part of the list, the county is looking to reimburse itself for $4.2 million from the bonds and $4.7 million of bans to reimburse themselves for monies that had been advanced to begin to commence these capital projects. The county plans to sell the bonds and notes in January, and since approval of all county borrowings during a control period is required to be approved by NIFA, this item is before the board for consideration.
Are there any questions? There being none, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion is considered and deemed to be carried. And before we entertain a motion of adjournment, the board would like to move to go into executive session to consider an item that's pursuant to Section 105H of the New York Public Officers Law, and we would then be returning or for adjournment after that, but to let people know in advance that there's no actions that will be taken as a result of the executive session or after we come out of executive session and before we consider adjournment. So anybody wishes to leave, feel free to do so, because no other business will be taken after the discussion.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I noticed that there are at least 2 adults and 1 cute baby holding up signs back there about buses. Would it be acceptable for me to ask them why they're here?
Okay. But we don't entertain public comments at the meeting.
So then I can't ask them?
No, you can ask them if you want afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't, it's a practice that we don't do public comments. We need to do
Yeah, you need a motion to go.
Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
It's on,